Okay, everybody, injuries struck superstars on Sunday. That's where I'm going to begin, but later in this show, I'm also going to talk about a running back who scored Sunday, but I still think might be undervalued. Let's start out, though, with the implications behind injuries to two former Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. You've seen this play. It's the second drive of the game for the Saints, and Drew Brees whacks his thumb against Aaron Donald's hand. It ended the series, so we didn't immediately know it, but when New Orleans came back out, Teddy Bridgewater was going to lead that team. You may now know more than I do when I'm recording this, but late Sunday, what was known was that Brees was staying behind in Los Angeles to see a hand specialist, and that he was concerned with the injury. So it was left to Teddy Bridgewater, and to be kind, it was not good. This looks like a coverage sack on a third down, and I guess maybe it is, with a Saints holding call thrown in, but watch it from the end zone, and you'll see pressure coming from Bridgewater's left, and if we freeze it right as he comes off his first read, you got all sorts of space for Teddy to step up into, and you also see Alvin Kamara available for a check down if Bridgewater steps up, and he did not show great instincts in this game. This third down in Rams territory, granted, I've given him a hard time in the past for checking down too much, but this is a bad read by Teddy Bridgewater, throwing it to a double-covered Jared Cook, who did not have a good game himself, with really no window at all. And in the replay, we can see, barely there, Michael Thomas is open underneath. I say you throw it to him. At least he's open. You give him a chance. Okay, so we'll come back and we'll look at Mason Rudolph, and then we'll talk about what these two injuries mean for our fantasy teams. Quick break to thank Mott and Bow. They're a longtime sponsor of my podcast. You hear me talk about them all the time there. Now you can see the merchandise. Mott and Bows are legit designer jeans without the designer price. Designer jeans are just better. They're great. They're soft and they're broken in right out of the box. I have a bunch of pairs myself. You'll be surprised how comfortable they are right away. Designer jeans also just last longer. They are better constructed out of more durable material. I have pairs that have lasted me 4 years and are still going strong. They've got men's and women's. They've also got great t-shirts and long-sleeved shirts, lots of other stuff too. Click the link below in the show notes, and we can get you 15% off your first purchase. I love Mott and Bow. Seriously, check them out. Getting back into it, you are also aware Ben Roethlisberger got hurt, and by the time you're seeing this, you also may have gotten more definitive information than I have when I'm recording it. What I know right now, as I'm recording, is that Big Ben is getting an MRI on his injured elbow on Monday, and he was not able to continue in the Steelers' loss to the Seahawks. So it was left to Mason Rudolph, whose second throw was an interception, but let's go ahead and say this is not Mason Rudolph's fault. And I'm sure after these first 2 weeks, Steelers fans and apparently also Steelers coaches are ready to fire Dante Moncrief into the sun for his ridiculously bad hands. This was Rudolph's only pick of the second half of the day, and generally speaking, I thought at least he had more going on than Teddy Bridgewater did. This flea flicker, okay, I think it's a better catch by JuJu than anything else, but I'm watching all these games all Sunday long, and I see this pass where there's no safety in the middle, and it's man coverage and the receivers behind. I see it get underthrown all the time, including by Matt Ryan multiple times on Sunday night. I'm happy on this throw. At least Mason Rudolph puts enough air under it to let Smith-Schuster make this great catch. And this work from Rudolph, this is really nice. So I will stipulate with him as well, it was a lot of check down stuff. And this is the kid's first regular season action of his career. And if we flip this throw, this touchdown back, and watch the end zone angle, so this was supposed to be a middle screen from the very beginning to Vance McDonald. But McDonald gets caught up in the offensive line there, and sort of defender bumps him, and Rudolph needs to delay, and he does, and he waits for the second window. He kind of angles his body, throws it three-quarter arm or sidearm or whatever, zips it in. I think that is a veteran move. I think it's a really nice play by Rudolph. I know Bridgewater is the veteran here. I came away less concerned if the Steelers are without Big Ben than if the Saints are without Brees, though who knows. Maybe Taysom Hill plays some quarterback if that happens. Of course, the upshot will be neither offense will be as good without its Hall of Fame signal caller, and all the weapons, from Kamara and Thomas to JuJu, to James Conner if his knee is okay. All those guys are going to drop in the fantasy ranks if these stud quarterbacks are out. How much? We'll have to tune in Tuesday and Wednesday on the podcast and we'll figure it out, but it won't be great because as competent as I thought Rudolph was, he's not going to be Ben Roethlisberger. Okay, now how about that buy low running back I talked about? May I introduce you to the Wizinator, Kerryon Johnson. If you're trying to scare the Kerryon Johnson owner in your league, this is what you tell him. Look at the carries. It's a split backfield. The sky is falling. But Kerryon Johnson got injured in the fourth quarter of this game early on one of the runs I'm actually about to show you. And this was the snap count before the injury. And then after that, it was 8 more snaps for Anderson and 2 more for Ty Johnson. I think there's a way to position this as more of a timeshare than it actually is because I watched the game and I look at this snap count. Kerryon Johnson was out there an awful lot. I don't think it's that much of a timeshare relative to NFL current standards. And listen, I know I'm going to show you highlights where he looks great. There were certainly several stuffs in this game, and I know the Lions offensive line maybe isn't the best, but the Wizinator just continues in his good moments to pop on film with long speed and with suddenness and maybe a dose of craziness, like he is completely reckless with his body at times. And I understand the Lions have an incentive to keep him healthy. I don't expect him to have an 85% work share. That's what this league is now. We're not going to get too many guys who get that kind of work. I want a good player who can get enough work and who can take one to the house like he did on Sunday. And yet I think there's now kind of a negative feeling circulating about Kerryon Johnson. You know, woe is me. Other runners are getting work. Who's this Ty Johnson guy? Now, I'm recording this before I know what the deal is with Kerryon Johnson's injury. Plus, week 3 against the Eagles is not a very good matchup for a running back. So I don't mind making a move right now. I also don't mind waiting one more week for you to deal for him. But as he did last year, Kerryon Johnson continues to pop, and I think where he'll end up when the season is over is higher than where the general fantasy community is fretting he is right now. All right, well, week 2 was fun. I will be back on this channel later on Monday with some week 3 waiver wire thoughts. And of course, you can check out the podcast 5 days a week at harrisfootball.com. Tell us what you think of these developments down in the comments. Commenting really does help the channel, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button. Write a comment. Tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on. And of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.